Welcome. This is a review of Test 2. The goal is to show you how to prepare for a test given a practice test. Most of the questions that you see here are of the kind that were on the practice test. First question has to do with the keyword enum and what do you do with such a keyword? If you don't know, you should look it up in the notes. In chapter 3 or 4, if you search for enum, you will see it's in there, and then there's some slides on enumerated data type. And if you look over, the first thing it says it's a data type. It allows you to create a data type. Um, and it also gives you more um, explanation of what the limitations of this data type are, because there are other questions in the test that deal with that. So car is a data type. All right. Second question. The default section of a switch statement performs a task that's similar to what part of an if-else statement? It's the trailing else. The syntax of an if-else statement is if, condition, statement, else, the alternative. All right. Now, the third question has to do with understanding how to read input. And we said when we read input using greater, white space governs how the reading occurs. But we also understood that when I read a number, anything that I pick up that's not a digit, or if it's a float, if it's not a decimal point, it stops the reading of it. So it looks like here that we have some data. I'm looking for 4 pieces of data, so you might say, where would the data occur? Well, it looks like this by itself is a float number. So do you have a variable that's float? Yeah. This looks like a single character followed by a number. Do you have a character variable? And so forth. Get the hang of that? So you must read 4 things. And the fact that I read a number and hit something that's not a number like a character stops the reading, so that I can then read the character that stopped me. I read another number, I hit a character, and I can then read the string that starts with that character. All right, so this is the um, response. Now, this question is all about, do you understand, do you understand um, a couple of things. Do you understand relational operators? Q plus Z. Q is 5, Z is 3, that's 8. Is 8 less than 8? No. So that's false. So we have false or what? Is Q greater than 3? Yes. So this and has to be done together. This is like multiplying. This is like saying A plus B times C. So the and expression has to be done before the or, so that we have Q greater than 3 is true, and Q plus 2. What's Q plus 2? That's 7. What goes here? Something that's true. Is 7 true? Yes. So I have true and true. I have true or anything. As long as one of these is true, you're clear. It happens to be that both of these are true. So if this is true, I output Z, which is 3, followed by Q, which is 5. Next question. What do you see here? It's the plus plus. You got to know plus plus. Where do we find out about plus plus? It's either chapter 3 or chapter 4. So let's look for plus plus. See if it's in here. It's not here. So maybe it's in chapter 3. Where's chapter 3? Whoa, I'm in some trouble here. Chapter 3 must be this guy. Okay. So do the same thing. Let's look for plus plus. See where it is. Oh heck, was this introduced earlier? What's going on? Ugh. Not sure where it was introduced. All right. So much for that. But what does it mean? We have a variable, and this says increment the variable before you use the value. N is a 4. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. So I output this. What do I output? It says first increment n, which goes from 4 to 5, and output that. So the first output is a 5. You do the consequence, not the alternative. So the last statement is this. You output the value of n and then decrement it. What's the current value of n? It's a 5. When I decrement it, or when this statement is over, the value of n happens to be 4 again. All right? So that's that. Question 6. What is it talking about? It's about files, file streams. We're opening a file called myinput.dat, and I want to read a line of input into a string variable called line. How do we do that? You should say I got to use getLine. How would you normally do this? Let me get me another thing. This thing will blow up on me. Dang it. Excuse me. Shouldn't be talking like that. What would we normally do? We would normally say getLine, cn, and a string. Isn't that what we do? Isn't that what we do? If we're using a file, what's the only difference? The stream we're using is no longer cn. It's whatever the name of the stream is. In this case, it happens to be